friends, Lisa here. I'm continuing to kind of update you guys on my post show, aka the aftermath. I have a couple of notes here, but I wanted to just touch on a few things after I posted the previous video about my mental state, I guess. So wanted to give just a general overall update. I am just a little bit over 3 months since my last show, and I wanted to cover a bunch of things. So I'm just gonna rip off the Band-Aid right now and talk about body stats from the get-go, because I know we said it during so much of my prep, but you are not supposed to stay stage lean. It is not good for your health to be that low in body fat, especially as a female. So we were already reversing my calories out of my show, which is basically slowly increasing them. We were already doing that after the first show and after the second show. So then after the third show, it was pretty much very similar to that. So I'm gonna put my progress pictures up. One set is going to be the very first check-in after my last show, and the other one is going to be the check-in from earlier this week. I hate posting this. I'm hating posting this completely, but I think it's important. Everyone shows the dieting part and the dieting part, but they don't deal with the aftermath. You know, there's some people that have YouTube channels that kind of touch on it and stuff like that, but I'm just gonna put it out there because it's the truth. And if you think you're gonna get stage lean and you think you're gonna stay that way, you're probably gonna have some systemic issues. So anyway, here we go. Here are the progress pictures. I will label them the before and the after. So what does this equate to scale weight? I'm up about 18 pounds, which is 18 pounds from my very first stage weight of 122, which was my very lowest. After my last show, I was about 125, 126. So I'm about 15-ish pounds up from that, which is just about where my coach wants me at, a rate of gain at about 1 pound a week, although I am not loving it. So I'm going to tell you guys that right off the bat. I know all the science behind it. I know why we're making sure that we gain weight, and that's to get to a healthy body fat, get my cycle back, get my hormones back in order, and start regaining some of the muscle that I lost. But I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like you take a year to work towards something, and then overnight you go back in the opposite direction. And it feels wrong. And let's be real, like, people get more attention when they're losing weight and cutting and blah, 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 blah. You don't get attention when you're gaining. It's more like people are like, oh, she got bigger. Oh, that's not so loose anymore, you know, stuff like that. Ooh, I see cellulite. People might be saying that. I don't know. They're not saying it to my face, but again, like I've said before, I'm probably saying a whole lot worse to myself, and I'm trying to give myself some grace and just go with the flow here and just know that, you know, my coach keeps saying at 4 to 6 months from the show, you start feeling more normal with everything physically and mentally. So I'm just trying to get through it, honestly. There are some days where I don't even look at the scale. My scale Bluetooths to my phone, so the data is recorded. I can send it to my coach, but I don't have to look at it. And I find that sometimes that's easier, because what am I going to do with that information? Be in a bad mood all day and know that I still have to eat because we have a goal. And so, like, I'm feeling fat but still having to eat. I don't know. I'm just trying to power through it and ignore it, quite honestly, and just trust that my coach will guide me in the right direction and not let me get too big. It's very hard because I'm a very controlling person, so it's very hard for me to let go. Clothes are fitting tighter. Things that were loose are no longer loose anymore. It feels, even though like I'm supposed to be gaining weight now. Like that's our goal. It still feels shameful, and I have to think that that has something to do with, you know, when I was growing up, it was gaining weight wasn't looked as a good thing. It was like, it meant you were not in control of your body and stuff like that. So I definitely feel, even though I'm supposed to be doing this, I am being monitored, I am doing everything according to plan, I still feel shameful that, oh, she's a pro bodybuilder and she let herself go, kind of thing, which I haven't let myself go. I have been on my plan probably 98% of these days. So I can't say that I'm not following it. I have not fallen off the wagon. I'm gaining weight because that's what is in my program. But it sucks and I don't like it. It's a means to an end. So on that note, with my food, I'm currently eating 2,400 calories, and we've been there for a while. It seems to be sort of a decent rate for me to be increasing at, which I don't know, we'll probably plane off. But yeah, I had a lot of stomach aches as we were increasing food. My stomach was not happy about it. Everything was giving me a stomach ache. So I just kind of stuck with my basic food sources, just increase the portions of the things I could tolerate, and slowly tried to add other things back in. It took a while. It took probably 8-9 weeks to stop getting as many stomach aches. I did switch my probiotic. I switched over to Seed. I'll link them in the notes here. Just honestly, I hadn't changed my probiotic in a long time, and I heard really, really good things about Seed, and I wanted to give it a try. I figured it was a perfect time to try it since my gut was kind of trying to figure some things out. So I think that has helped, and just taking it slow and trying not to force myself to have things that I feel like I should have. Yeah, I guess, you know, to hit the carb levels that we have me at, I've had to have, I think I talked about this during the end of prep too, when we were increasing my carbs, is that there's only so much room in your stomach, and if you only have carbs left and not like fat and protein, most of the very quick carb sources are going to be more like simple sugars. And it felt wrong. It felt fake to be like, oh, I'm going to have Fruit Loops and blah, 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 when here I am, a nutrition coach, and like I preach to try to avoid those things, but it was literally the only way I could hit some of my goals without having too much fiber and causing more stomach aches. So yeah, I'm working on it. I'm having less of that now. Obviously, I'm able to tolerate more with my GI system, so that's been better. There were a few times, I wouldn't say that I was binging, but I felt like I wasn't as much in control. Like, I showed you guys in a previous video, I was like, I blacked out and ended up finishing a bag of chips, and I felt like shit, like physically felt like shit, but then also so guilty. And you know what? It made zero difference. My weight wasn't up the next day or the day after. It literally made zero fucking difference. I probably needed the calories. But I think, you know, one of the reasons I'm doing okay with that is it wasn't a previous issue for me. I was more of like a hyper restrictor, not much of a binger, in a previous disordered life. But also, like, we gave me food relatively quickly. So it wasn't like my body was trying to catch up as much. Whereas I think when you're still barely eating anything, you know, coming out of your show and trying to keep a wrap under that once you've hit your goal of the show, it can be really hard to control those things and potentially lead to more binges. I don't know. I've only been through one season, but that's been my experience, is that I felt like I didn't have that urge to just eat everything because I was too full from what we were planning on me eating. So I think that actually kind of helped in a way. As for my workouts, after my last show, it was on a Saturday. I was back in the gym on Monday, just doing my planned workouts. And we kind of had a program where it was kind of just like a full body recovery. We weren't targeting any specific muscle group. We kind of hit all of them. It was on like a 4-week rotation. I stayed away from CrossFit for a little bit just to avoid the high intensity of it. So I was just doing like bike rides or something, still hitting step goals, stuff like that. You don't want to decrease your output too fast as you're increasing your food, because that can lead to a little bit of excess weight gain. But it felt good. I felt really weak, which is funny because going into my shows, I really didn't feel like I had lost that much strength, just a little bit, but I hadn't really thought that I lost that much. But then with the closeness of all my shows, with the peak weeks back to back and stuff like that, I think that's what took the toll on me. And it took a good 4 to 6 weeks to feel like I could even hit the numbers that I was hitting the very first peak week. So I would say that as we've gotten further from show, I definitely am starting to feel stronger in the gym. I'm able to do the more intense sessions a little bit better. So I'm feeling much better about that. My workouts were definitely difficult toward the end of prep because there's no energy stores left. And then you just kind of feel like you suck and that like you're never going to get back to where you were, and you will. That much I can say is as soon as we kind of got my food stabilized and recovery, I started feeling a lot more normal. Like I could do the workouts I would normally be doing and have the stamina that I would normally have. So that is at least a positive that, feeling weak and small coming out of the shows is only temporary, and your body's in a really good place to bounce back if you do it right. So, I just finished up that like initial sort of recovery plan where we just kind of hit everything and really tried to push weight back up on the scale and on the barbell. So now we are going to focus on building. So we're taking the feedback that I got at all the shows and trying to target certain areas that I need to work on. And for me, that is the glute ham tie-in, which is basically the lower glute and your upper hamstring where they meet. I'm not quite as developed there as I need to be. I kind of am. It's not the best. My butt is in much better place than it used to be years ago, but it is still pretty tame. I don't know. It's not very pronounced. I have a hard time connecting with my glutes because of previous knee injury where I became very quad dominant to kind of work around it. So my glutes have been turned off for a long time. So we're really working on trying to engage my glutes and hit them as often as possible. And then we're doing a lot of work on my back and my shoulders, getting those lats in order, adding some depth to them and a little bit more roundness on the shoulders. So that's where we're going to be focusing the most over the next 3 months. I just got my new plan from my coach. We're doing a little bit differently. We're doing like a rotation of days over a 10-day thing. So I can still work in some CrossFit and I can hit all those different parts on a 10-day rotation versus like you have to do this many every single week. So that'll give me some flexibility as well. So yeah, that's kind of the update on the plan, the body, food, all that stuff. So goals, what has helped me has been to try to refocus my goals so that as soon as I came out of my last show, I had something I was working toward. Because feeling very lost is apparently pretty normal, and I was definitely there. I still don't know that I'm not lost, but I at least found small things to focus on to start. And part of that was just re-engaging with the world around me, my relationships, stuff like that. Focusing on getting stronger in the gym and the lifts and the form versus the number on the scale and the lines and hardness and stuff like that. I focused on, being more available for my family, being a little bit more engaged with work, definitely taken my business to another level. I've been programming a lot of easy access, low threshold sort of workout programs. So I'm just going to shameless plug here because, hey, I'm talking about it, but this was something I've been working on, was basically creating within my program. You know, there are sometimes people who don't need a lot of guidance in terms of a regular coaching and feedback, but they need some sort of structure. So I have an 8-week healthy habit challenge that takes them from sort of just getting used to doing the healthy habits to increasing the intensity of those to the end of it. And it's a pretty fun program. I've had people go through it before in the challenge, and it worked very, very well for them when they were able to stick with it. So I have that. And then I have other ones that are like no equipment, 8-week no equipment workouts, 8-week like core strength workouts, stuff like that. I will link my page down below to sort of talk through those, but wanted to sort of talk about that. And basically it's a go at your own pace. So I am available for questions and things like that, but it's already programmed for you. You buy it at midnight. You can start it at midnight, like whatever it is. It's on your timetable, but I'm always available for questions and stuff like that. And then I've also really been working on my education. So, you know, I'm certified personal trainer and nutrition coach through NASM, while I decided to get another certification because I didn't have enough on my plate, I guess. Overachiever. So I just finished my precision nutrition level 1 certification yesterday. So now I also have that as well, just to sort of help, you know, make me a better coach, more well-rounded, have a different perspective on things. I'm a huge believer in continuing to learn because, I mean, take a look back. 20 years ago, people were doing things differently than we're doing them now because we've learned since then. So if you're always staying with the exact same education and you're not progressing and staying up to date on the latest research and techniques with things, you may not be as effective because we're constantly learning more about programming and your body and hormones and all that stuff. So I'm really happy that I got that done, and I think it gives me a little bit more tools in my toolbox to help my clients. So I also have updated my group coaching plan, which I am currently taking on new clients for either group coaching or one-on-one. If you're interested in that, there is an application process where we kind of assess what would be the best fit for you in terms of coaching services, and if I'm the best fit for you as well as a coach, and we would kind of do that application and then touch base and sort of decide what's best for you. So I've been focusing on stuff like that so I can be less focused on my scale weight. It's a nice distraction, you know, I have things to kind of keep me busy. So I've been doing that. And then I wanted to just touch on for the last thing, I know I've just been like blah, 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 blah talking here. I apologize. Was to touch on where I'm at mentally. So I posted the last video that kind of was a rewind to something I recorded much closer to my show. And I was not in a good place at all. Like, not at all. So I kind of talk about it in that video. I talk about how I signed up for therapy. I would say I went about 4 times maybe, and I haven't gone back. So hear me out. I really did try. I did. Try to keep an open mind. It wasn't super touchy-feely, which I was concerned about, but I don't feel like the therapist that I was paired with really was best suited for me. So it's not that I quit therapy with that therapist, and I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with it, but it sort of got to the point where I was giving her advice. Yeah. And the second to the last visit with her, she literally pulled out a textbook and was like saying, okay, well, textbook says that, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, you have a textbook out? For me, either I'm that fucked up, which is possible, or maybe this isn't really the right journey for us. yeah, I mean, it kind of just ended with, we were talking through, well, we got to figure something out. We got to figure something out to get so much off your plate and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, have you tried? I'm like, I tried this. This doesn't work because of that. And I tried this and I literally went through like, I've tried this. And this is what happened or didn't happen. And she was just like, okay, yeah, well, we have to figure something out. And I was like, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. If I could think myself out of this paper bag, I would. So, yeah. It wasn't worth my time and my money at that point because I wasn't getting anything out of it. So I'm kind of focusing in a different direction. I found a program that is specifically for competitors that's run by Celeste Rains Turk, Build More Than Just a Body, and it kind of deals with competitor related issues in terms of food and body image and high performance type stuff. So I'm trying to give that a roll. I haven't been quite as engaged in it because my natural tendency is put myself last. And with these other goals that I've had, that's what's happened. I've done a couple of them, but I think I'm going to just continue focusing on that when I can and see where it gets me. But yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. At least I've had time to sort of work on some other things. And really, I just had to sit down and prioritize because coming out of the shows, I had so many things I felt like I needed to do and take care of and catch up on. It was just so much. And not that the list ever ends, as, someone who is part of society today, everyone has these huge lists of stuff they have to take care of. But it was just like remembering what's time sensitive and what's the most important. Like, yes, you could go off and do that right now, but is that going to serve you and your current goals right now? And that's part of why I haven't, really been on social media very much or even been doing these videos is that while I enjoyed documenting my journey and sharing it with you guys and hopefully inspiring people, it wasn't giving me back anything, I guess. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, but there's a fair amount of time that goes into filming and editing and posting and stuff like that. And when you're dealing with so many things on your plate, what I had to step back and realize was that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to keep this channel going and keep you guys updated and stuff like that, but it really wasn't serving it. It wasn't delivering anything for me, right? It wasn't improving any of my relationships. It certainly wasn't helping my time management. And it wasn't helping my business. I have to be honest with you. Sharing my journey was something I wanted to do, but at the same time, it's not helping my clients. It's not helping me get new clients. So in order of priority, with my family and my main job and my business and stuff like that, doing YouTube videos and social media content wasn't adding enough value it wasn't enough bang for its buck. So I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but it is what it is. And I had to finally let it go and just be like, I will get to it when I get to it. So I'm actually off today, so I'm getting to it. But I had to just decide, like, social media is all well and good, but you all aren't going to be at my funeral. You're not going to care if I disappear forever. So I need to take care of my nuclear unit, and anything beyond that is extra. So I will keep popping in here and giving you guys updates and stuff like that. I'm actually going to be starting just an entirely different series that really isn't going to be based on me and my journey. It's going to be more like I think my first video is going to be, what does a nutrition and fitness coach do? And then the next one's going to be, what do they don't do? And, touch on things like, how to measure your food and how to improve your sleep, like just general, like topics for the average person trying to better their lifestyle. So I think that's the direction we go in next. I'm not promising any sort of regular posting schedule, but I'm hoping that I would turn this into, that it's into a more educational, let me help you, give you some free content. And if anyone tries all those things and still needs something, like that's where my services can come in. And I will update you guys on sort of where I'm at. Off season is definitely not as exciting as show prep, but I feel like, you know, people need to see that too. So once I get, you know, my next block started of programming, I will maybe post some of my workouts, you know, stuff like that. But other than that, that's kind of my update, guys. I appreciate you guys following my journey with you, or with me, and all of your all support and comments really do mean the world to me. But yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm just being honest. This has been, I knew that post show would be hard, and it has been hard. It has been hard, but I feel like I'm more of a human now that I've given it some time. So that's a good thing. Anyway, if you want to be able to support me a little bit more, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, like do all the things to engage with this channel, because then maybe it will help serve me so I can add more content more often. All right. I would love to be able to help any of you or people that you know along their own journeys. So hit me up, let me know, let's talk, and I will check in with you guys soon.